What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome back to The Watchers, episode 2. This episode, Jay and I are going to be talking about my adventures with Superman season 2. The premiere just happened. We planned on putting this episode out last week, but had some scheduling conflicts, but it worked out because we get to talk about an extra episode this time. We get to talk about 3 episodes instead of 2. Uh, yeah. How's it going, Jay?
I'm doing pretty well. Everything's going pretty well. So
hmm
yeah, and I'm excited because this episode is an excuse to just talk more about Superman, not even the show, just Superman in general, because I just have such a huge appreciation for the character.
hmm Yeah, me too. Superman is just like he's the main character of DC. There's no getting around it.
Oh
But
yeah.
I disclaimer for our audience, for those who watched the last episode, I have to apologize. I didn't hold up on my end of the bargain, but Jay did get the Magneto helmet since last episode. I
Oh
haven't
man.
gotten it yet, but yeah. Part of me was hoping he'd join the Zoom call with it on, but you
Sorry.
might have to go grab it. You might have to go grab
Okay, I got
it.
it. Okay. All right. All right.
There we go.
Yeah, hold on. The purple just fits, man. It
Oh
just
yeah, it fits with the chair and everything.
yeah, purple has always been my color anyway. So
hmm
yeah. I wonder how long I could do this with the helmet on.
With the helmet on, it looks like is there a lot of room inside?
Yeah, it's very my head is not that my head is big, but not that big. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that is fair.
yeah.
Well, getting into Superman. So, a plot synopsis of season 2. In the latest season, the three best friends, being Clark Kent, Superman, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen, face a host of new allies and threats. Powerful foes and families will emerge from Clark's mysterious past. Amanda Waller takes arms against Superman as Lois grapples with the future, and Jimmy spends an unbelievable amount of money, while Krypton's arrival will test the young hero's strength, loyalty, and love like never before. Before we get into season 2, we could talk about what we thought of season 1. I feel like it honestly wasn't that long ago. Like I didn't feel like there was too long of a break between season 1 and 2, which was really awesome getting to
Mhm.
pick this back up. But I mean, I really liked season 1, like from the get-go.
Me too.
hmm
Season one, I had so much fun with season one. Like every episode when it came out each week, it was just I had so much fun. It was like a banger.
hmm
And when it uh when it first aired, uh when it first aired, I was like, oh, this is a very unique take on Superman, right? But as each episode went on, I love that they kept true to the character, but they did new things with the characters and different direction with the story.
Yeah,
It
I agree.
feels it feels very in line with a lot of Superman that came before, but it also does something new for this generation and this new era for Superman.
Yeah, it pays respect to Superman and his history.
Oh
Like it's
yeah,
very faithful to the character. I would say where it like changes a lot is like the medium. It's a very like you can tell it's very anime inspired and like, it pulls from
yeah.
a lot of different sources the way they tell the story. I know a lot of people were upset at how like tech-based a lot of the villains and like the whole plot of the first season was, but honestly, I thought it fit the story really well. I really liked the liberties they took and the way they handled a lot of things.
What I think is interesting is how tech based it is and how a lot of the villains are corporate. You know,
hmm
there's big businesses that are behind and sponsoring a lot of these villains. It reminds me if you read a lot of the early action comics by Jerry
Yeah.
Siegel and Joe Shuster. You know, before Superman was doing all that, he was fighting big business and he was fighting corrupt capitalists basically. And a lot of these corrupt capitalists are also they're motivating these people to become villains. You know, a lot of
Mhm.
that's like the technology that they create. They also creating villains, so it definitely feels like that. And any
Yeah.
theme of Superman fighting against big business is a W for me in my opinion. So yeah,
Champion of the oppressed.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Mhm. Yeah. So the three main characters of the show, Clark Kent, played by Jack Quaid, Lois Lane by Alice Lee, and Jimmy Olsen by Ishmael Sahid. A fantastic cast all around. The chemistry is
Cast is so
amazing.
fire.
Just, I mean, I love the characterizations of all three of them. We can go through
Mhm.
them one by one. I think Jack Quaid's an awesome Superman. I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember what I thought he was going to be like. when the show
Hmm.
was first announced. I think I was just like, oh, that's Huey. But I don't know, dude. Like he's so good. He's so good as Clark Kent.
Yeah, like he definitely does the duality of the character very well. And he has this strength to him when he's Superman, but he also has that compassion and that kind heart that we know Superman for having. And he definitely just he's doing a great job. He has a lot of vocal range with a lot of his lines, and the chemistry he has with Lois is just perfect, just amazing stuff.
Yeah,
Like you could tell that Jack Quaid has a lot of passion for this character. And,
definitely. It's very
yeah,
apparent.
and I actually like that it's a very lighthearted take on Superman. Not in a like he could be goofy and clumsy as Clark Kent, but it's impossible to hate him. Like you just like I don't understand how you could dislike this version.
Hmm.
He's so earnest and so sincere with his portrayal.
He
You
feels
know.
very human, you know? They
Yeah.
really humanize him. Like
Yeah.
it's, he doesn't feel just like a god or like we see him mess up. We see him struggle with anxiety and being late to things and have to
Yeah.
deal with the whole secret identity thing in the first season, especially.
And I think another thing that sticks out from this portrayal is, like you said, the how anime inspired it is, even with the transformation
Yeah.
with the Sailor Moon homage, I guess, where he's transforming. And it's just great.
I
And
love the way he powers up. I love the way it looks.
me
It's
too.
just awesome. The
Yeah.
electric blue.
Yeah, and it reminds me of Blue Superman.
Yeah, Superman blue. Kind of like how
Oh no,
John
yeah, Superman
powers
Blue.
up.
That yeah.
It reminds me a lot of ways too of how in the comics John charges up now.
Oh, John. Oh yeah, John Kent, he does that now.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's super cool. But yeah, I just all around the board, I really like this season and a huge emphasis on this show is the duality between like his human life. I mean, we got a lot of time spent with Ma and Pa Kent, and we
Yeah.
get to see him in Smallville and even Lois interact with the family and stuff like that. We get to see how he was raised. But a huge point of the show is his Kryptonian heritage and him balancing that out. We see that he kind of repressed and shoved it away for a huge part of his life. And I think that's a super interesting story to tell with this show.
Yeah. Seeing him balance, his Kryptonian heritage and being raised on Earth is always an interesting aspect. And honestly, I think a good Superman adaptation is how you balance, those two.
Hmm.
Because some want to lean in heavily on him being raised on Earth, while some really want to dive into the Kryptonian heritage and being of a noble birth of the House of El. And I think they're doing a fine balance. And this is I think the world building for the Kryptonians is so good, so good.
Yeah.
Like where we get to see Jor-El speaking, and Jor-El speaking this very harsh, like alien
Yeah.
language. I love it. I love it so much.
It's really
And
cool.
yeah, and the technology that the Kryptonians use is very distinct. And you can tell that their technology and their engineering is very distinct to their culture.
Hmm.
And that's just part of the good world building that they do. And
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like yeah, that like it's so distinct and like that's why every villain's like it all goes back to that Kryptonian tech.
Yep.
It's like where it all is. And that I think that's such a cool way to tell this story.
Hmm. And this goes back to my world building point, but even Metropolis has its own feel to it. Metropolis is not a grimy city like, Gotham or Hub City, if you know about the question. But Metropolis has, this earnest feeling where it's a lot safer, it's a lot brighter. But crime still happens. And the people they have this optimism to them where, they take one day at a time, and they really nail that feeling of Metropolis, like, you know, in a very great way.
Yeah.
and we get to see some of the civilians, like the civilian life in Metropolis, and we get to see Superman just talking to the people there, and saving them. That's another thing I like about it. We get to see Superman, be Superman, save people.
It's so cool. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
rewatching some of season one before season two came out,
Hmm.
and the all the stuff of him with the app, like going and doing all the different saves and stuff. I've been
Yeah.
playing Spider-Man 2 a lot recently, that it reminds me of
Oh,
the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app. And it's just so cool seeing Superman do that, like just fly off to go save a cat in a tree. Like that's
yeah,
Superman. I'm glad we get to see that in this show.
yeah. If they want to do a Superman game, they better be taking notes,
It's
taking
true.
notes.
Yeah.
You
There's a
know.
million YouTube videos online how to make a good Superman game that like people
Oh yeah,
they
I
have
be
to put.
watching those too,
Yeah.
or
I would
like a
love a
Flash game
Superman
or Green
game.
Arrow. The list goes on, and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
crazy.
So many cool characters I want to see video games of.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah, I mean, I I just think Jack Quaid's amazing in this role. I'm really glad it's him. It feels perfect for this show and the style it's in. I also just really love Alice Lee as Lois Lane. Honestly, one of my favorite Lois Lane adaptations of all time in this show.
Hmm. Yeah, this version of Lois Lane, she has a lot of agency. She's very fierce. She wants to get her story out there, and I just love this Lois Lane. She's might be probably one of my favorite takes on that character.
Hmm.
And like that goes back to, like I said about Jack Quaid, is their chemistry is so fucking good.
It is.
And even with the trio with Jimmy, it's also good too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I really do like this Lois. And what they do with her relationship with her father, the general,
Yeah.
is, yeah, like having him be like an antagonist is, it creates some great drama as well for the story.
It does, yeah. All the stuff with that across these past two seasons has been really cool. I
Hmm.
uh I really like too this season the elevator joke they made. I know in the first season a lot of people were upset with Lois's characterization of her jumping off the building and stuff like that, but I don't know. I feel like that's Lois Lane.
Yeah.
I thought it was I thought it was cool. I didn't have a problem with it, and I like that they kind of poke fun at it in this season as well. I I remember when I first watched season one, I was a bit reserved at the thought at first of like her being an intern and not being like super high up at the, I almost said Daily Bugle. That's how much I've been playing Spider-Man Daily Planet. But,
Yeah.
um, I think that it really works for this story. It really helps build the dynamic between Clark and Lois and Jimmy.
She's not the Lois Lane. She's not in her prime yet as we she's not in her prime yet as a reporter at the Daily Planet. She's just
But we see
getting there.
glimpses of it.
Yeah, we do see those glimpses, and we could feel how passionate she is about what she does and trying to get that next story out there, the next
Yeah.
scoop. And I forgot what I was gonna say, but this is sort of this talks about the show, but I like the use of Amanda Waller in this show a lot,
Yeah.
because Amanda Waller, we definitely see, I don't know if it's a DC mandate, but Amanda Waller, she's gonna be in this recent event, Absolute Power, the
Yeah.
movie with DCU, and now in My Adventure with Superman. And it's very easy to get tired and think Amanda Waller's stale, but she's the complete opposite in the show. Like, she's extremely compelling. She's extremely like ruthless and meticulous about her plans, because in the first season she was working under the general, Lois' dad, but now in season two she's stepping up into her own, and she's doing things her way. And I just find her to be such a cold, calculating presence, because, like I said, she represents the government. She represents the that that control, that military industrial complex, basically, of trying to use like Task Force X for the government's agenda, for her own personal agenda.
Hmm.
And she says that she's willing to do whatever it takes to protect humanity, morals be damned. So yeah, she's a psychopath or a
Yeah,
sociopath. I don't know. She just needs help. But
yeah,
yeah,
she's written really well in this show. I really
yeah,
like how they've been like building up the conflict between her and Superman. If we were doing the round robin we did for the X-Men episode, cold would be a perfect word for Amanda
oh
Waller.
yeah. She doesn't give a shit.
And
She doesn't care.
yeah,
She just doesn't. No.
and like you said too, like it's crazy timing her being in the show the same time as Absolute Power about to come out, where
Yeah,
I mean, this is Amanda Waller's been showing up in every DC book the last couple months, and it's all culminating now. It really
yeah,
just feels like the year of Amanda Waller, low key.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Amanda Waller is definitely having her moment, and it's really great to see because she was definitely a character that has not had this. She hasn't been getting this much spotlight ever in her her history. She's always been on her side, which is the Suicide Squad, like corner of the DC universe. But now she's everywhere. She's fucking with Green Arrow. She's fucking with Superman. It's just
Yeah.
yeah. She got her hands everywhere, basically.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, Jimmy Olsen. I think it's, pretty soon we're gonna see him just completely out of money. I think that's hilarious whenever the bar shows up and I think he's blown through like $2 million already. It's crazy.
Ooh. $2 million. Where is bro getting this money?
Well, he sold, is it Flamebird, the name of
I
his like
Flamberg. He
show?
just
Yeah. And he got
he
like
did
5
so.
million from that. And
Mhm.
I think he just spent like 1 million and change on that boat in the last episode.
I remember that boat
Yeah.
to get to strikers.
Yeah. Jimmy's
Yeah.
great in this show. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's interesting. It was done really well that Jimmy knew he was Superman for like the longest time. And then
Yeah.
that created like a funny moment when he was like, "You told Lois before?" That was funny.
Hmm. Yeah. The dynamic is really great,
Hmm.
and this goes right back to what I said. It's the world building. Like even the side characters at the Daily Planet. We got like Lois and Jimmy and Perry White, but we also got Steve Lombard and
Yeah.
some of the kids that work with Jimmy Olsen. I'm forgetting some other Daily Planet
Yeah, Perry White, Cat,
that
Steve
cat Grant.
Lombardi, yeah.
Yeah. And they're so much fun. They bring a lot of energy,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
they're and you know that's also quintessential to making good Superman stories. You got Superman and Clark and Lois, but you got to have that like subplot with like the Daily Planet and what the reporters are up to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
fun.
That's been done well too. Another character it looks like we're gonna see a lot more of in season two that we saw glimpses of in season one. Well, in season one we knew him as Alex, but now he's going by Lex. That
Yeah.
especially after this last episode, I cannot wait to see what they do with him. So in the last episode, we met Steel, and at the end of the episode, Lex took over his whole business along with his
Hmm.
suit. That as soon as Lex walked up to him, I just in my head I was picturing that suit in green and purple.
Oh, the power suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like with Lex, he I'm blanking. The thing about Lex early in season one is he is he's very like he's not just a side character. He's like a side character.
Yeah.
Like you blink, sometimes you might miss him, but he's there. He's prevalent. We just like you said, we only know him as Alex. But those who know, we're like, oh, this is Lex Luthor, and now he's really shaping up into his own. He's getting too much dip on his damn chip, and now he's feeling
Yeah.
himself. And
Yeah.
after Jimmy Olsen gave him some advice, he took it
Hmm.
in a way that you know normal people wouldn't have taken it, because Lex Luthor, he's gonna take that advice, and he's gonna spin it for his. He's a very ambitious person. Now he's working with Amanda Waller, and she's giving him the resources that he needs.
Hmm.
That he needs. So it's just like, and like you said, him taking control of the company from Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wonder if he's gonna get the power suit, like you said. That would be really cool. Do you
I
think we're
think
also gonna?
so.
You think we're gonna see him lose the hair too eventually?
At some point, I don't know about in season two, but at some point we're
Yeah.
gonna see bald Lex. So from what I heard, they weren't allowed to use Lex in season one. That their way around it was just putting that guy in there, calling him
Hmm.
Alec. That's probably why he has the shaggy hair. Um, but they must have given him the go at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I'm excited to see where it goes. And
Yeah.
it's just
Like,
all gonna culminate. Like we're gonna have Brainiac, Zod, Lex, all the
yeah.
other like little villains we're seeing and stuff. Atomic Skull we got to see as well.
Oh, I love the Atomic Skull.
It was
Um,
awesome stuff.
yeah, Atomic Skull was really cool.
Hmm.
He's also another underrated Superman villain. Superman had an underrated rogues gallery, and I like
Definitely.
seeing. I think they're utilizing all a lot of his rogues gallery very well.
Yeah, I do wish I saw credit to Troy Oboyo 17 put out a video about my adventures with Superman,
Hmm.
and he pointed out that there's a lot of cases where they could easily use some Superman villains, but they use just other DC villains. I think he said Deathstroke, like Bloodsport, could have been a cool fill for that role, and I think that would have
Oh,
been awesome to see too.
oh, that would have been cool too to see Bloodsport. We could
Yeah.
still see Bloodsport
We
in a
we
few.
could still, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the Deathstroke has still been cool though. Slade Wilson, we saw. I don't know
Yes.
if it was at the end of season one or in one of the season two episodes. He's got like a kryptonite blade now, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna be an awesome fight between the two of them.
Yeah. He's definitely prepared for another encounter with Superman.
Hmm.
And I really love this version of Slade. He's younger and but he's still dangerous. He's still ruthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing Deathstroke fighting Superman is just cool to me anyway because I'm so used to seeing Deathstroke fighting Batman and the Titans or Nightwing.
Yeah.
So I like
Mhm.
switching some villains around. It's
Yeah.
always fun doing that.
Hmm. Yeah. In this last episode too, there was a mention of Silas Stone that had me wondering if we might see
Oh yeah,
Cyborg.
Silas was there. That was cool.
Yeah.
And we forgot, but Steel. We got not only did we get to see Steel, but we also got to see Natasha
Yeah.
Irons, who also ends up carrying the mantle of Steel at one
Yeah, I'm
point.
pretty sure she just had a mini recently.
Yeah. Well, I think her and John Steelworks
Oh
was.
yeah, it was Steelworks, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was cool. I really liked seeing Silas though. That kind of caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit.
It was cool. Yeah. I
Yeah.
really hope we get to see Cyborg. I feel like Cyborg would fit the world of the show really well.
Oh my God, Cyborg would fit so well since they're leaning into all the tech based stuff.
Yeah.
Also, it's also good contrast too because Superman, he's not, Superman's not very tech based, but he's fighting tech based villains, so it's a great contrast.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because he's not very Superman. He doesn't need really that much tech anyway.
Hmm.
He's Superman.
Yeah. Um, so let me ask you, Jay, what
Hmm.
Superman villains do you want to see show up in whether it's the rest of season two of my adventures with Superman? I feel like we know a lot of the villains that are gonna be the bigger threats of this season, but even later down the line in the show.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna go for. Uh, all right, Zod, of course.
Yeah.
Toy Man would be cool. Mongo would be very cool. Um, we did see Silver Banshee. I forgot. They got it. Like you said, Bloodsport would be fire. I think who I would want is I want to see Toyman, Zod, and Mongol. Those are the ones I want to see.
That's good. Yeah, I was thinking Mongol too. That would be cool, like to do some
Mhm.
space stuff with him later down the road. I think the big one I want to see at some point is Manchester Black make an appearance.
Manchester Black would be fire, especially he would challenge the ideals of Superman so
Yeah,
well in
you
that.
could do a whole Superman versus the Elite arc with that. Like just a couple episodes of Manchester Black sort of turning Metropolis against Superman and he rises against it by the end.
Hmm. That
Even if it was like a whole season long thing and Manchester
yeah,
Black was a season
you
villain,
you
that'd
could
be
do a whole
incredible.
season match. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would work too. And trying to think what other villains do I want to
I want to see
see.
Lobo at some point in this show.
Oh, the main man himself.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see
Oh,
him in season two, definitely, but
mhm.
I think I would just love to see their take on Superman.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely see their take on Lobo and how he would interact with Superman would be funny too.
Yeah.
The
It would,
show's
yeah.
really yeah, the show's really could be really goofy and funny at times, and
hmm
Lobo doing some comedy with him would be fun
Yeah.
because Lobo he can be pretty silly, you know,
hmm
even though he could whoop your ass, but
Yeah.
yeah.
How
So
about now? Uh, what other DC heroes would you want to see show up in the show? Just DC characters in general, whether they're direct part of the Superman mythos or not. Because the way I have always looked at the DC universe
mhm,
is, and I think I heard Mark Waid, somebody told Mark Waid this, I'm blanking on who it was, but if you put Superman in a story, he becomes the main character of it. Like there's no way around it just because of who Superman is. That the way I've always looked at DC is Superman is the main character. And not to say that anyone's like a lesser character, but it's I look at the Flash as like the sci-fi spin-off in the Superman universe almost, and Batman is like the detective spin-off. Wonder Woman is like the Greek mythology one, that
mhm.
I feel like a lot of them can just bounce off Superman, especially really well.
That's the beauty of Superman because you could take Superman, you can mold him into any era and put him into so many different scenarios and put him with so many different characters that's how great of a character is. He can bounce off so many characters so well.
hmm
I think man, what heroes do I want to see him? I want to see him interact with Booster Gold. I don't know if you probably know. You heard of Guardian? I know
Oh
he has
yeah,
he has a lot of stories with Superman. I would like to see Superman hang out with a Green Lantern. That would be cool.
I was thinking Green Lantern Corps would be really cool. It's funny you say Booster. That was one I had on my list. I think either
Mhm.
Booster or like the Legion of Superheroes could play like a really cool role of
Ooh,
like they come
Legion.
from the future for like an episode and like they help establish to Superman like help him understand like what Superman like means in the future, like just the
He has a
impact
legacy.
legacy he leaves. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be that I guess you can say that episode would be a Superman legacy.
Yeah, I had that in my notes, like, yeah. That we'll finally get Superman Legacy after.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
If they do a episode about the Legion of Superheroes and shit.
Yeah. I mean, we got to see in season one the Mixelplex episode, like it was hopping multiverses and stuff. So
Man, I love that episode too.
yeah, that was a good episode. I obviously I want to
Oh,
see him interact with the Trinity, Batman and Wonder Woman at some point.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know that we will. I know that they kind of said they can't really use Batman in the show, and I don't even know if they
Mhm.
want to, but I mean, I feel like it's just set up so perfect. And I don't think we're going to see Batman in season two, but
Yeah.
it would be set up so perfectly. Vicky Vale's trying to get Lois Lane to
Go to
summer
Gotham.
court in Gotham, that she goes there, they run into Batman. That it would just, I think it'd be so good.
It would also be cool to see the magical side since we're so tech based.
Yeah.
Superman, he's sort of out of his element too because he has a vulnerability to magic. So seeing some magical characters like maybe Doctor Fate and Zatanna or Constantine, those would be Zatanna or Doctor Fate would be really cool to see.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Um, and I mean, like, we're going to get it. We know they've like talked about it in the season. I just can't wait to see Superman interact with Supergirl too, with Kara. I
Oh
can't
man,
wait for them to bring her into the show.
that gives it even more reason to bring in the Legion of Superheroes later because they
hmm
Supergirl interacts with them as well.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
very excited for that. What like type of role do you think Supergirl's gonna play in the show?
oh man, I can't even. I feel like maybe it's gonna start off shaky and she's gonna be definitely leaning more into the Kryptonian heritage than he is. And but later along the line, they're gonna end up being allies. I feel
Hmm.
like.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do with Supergirl because how it is in the comics is Supergirl, Clark gets sent off when he's a baby, but
Mm,
Kara is she witnesses the death of Krypton. That like
yep.
she doesn't just hear that her world died, like she watches it.
Yeah, she watched that in real time.
Yeah, and she watches it twice practically. But
Yeah.
mhm.
Well, didn't she also? She was also around at Kandor when Brainiac took it and bottled that city up too. I think she
Yeah.
went as well. She's
Hmm.
seen a lot of shit actually.
Yeah, she's gone through the ringer.
Yeah, poor Kara.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been trying to
I'm
think
so
like,
excited for her though.
yeah, I'm very excited for her. I've been trying to think too, like what other members of the Superman family I think we're gonna see in this show. I
Mhm.
I don't know. I do you think we're ever gonna see like Connor Kent down the line?
Ooh, did we get to see? He's not part of the Superman family, but did we see Hank Henshaw?
Did we?
I,
Let me
look
look
that
that
up.
up.
Yeah, or am I crazy? Hold on. I know he's not part of the family, but he is a Superman. He's not a
Yeah,
nice one, but I love Hank Henshaw. Yeah, Hank Henshaw's there,
that's gonna
so
be cool to see.
yes, they definitely could do a cyborg Superman story.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Oh man, I don't think people ready for that though, because cyborg Superman is crazy, man.
Yeah,
He's also
I think they could do something cool with Red Tornado, possibly.
ooh, yeah,
Just
I
because it's
love
like a
Red
tech-based
Tornado.
show and everything. I think if they have like an episode with Red Tornado and you know,
Tio Morrow.
yeah,
I love Tio
they bring
Morrow's
Red Inferno, Torpedo, Volcano, all four of them in.
shit. Bring in the Metalman then.
Yeah, you could do the Metamorpho.
Oh, Metamorpho would be fun. No,
As, since we
I'm just
saw,
throwing out characters now.
yeah, since we saw Brain and in
Monster Mom,
one, yeah, the Doom Patrol. I feel like,
Doom Patrol would be
yeah,
I would love to see the Doom Patrol. I have a friend who loves the Doom Patrol. And
yeah. The Doom
it,
Patrol show when that came out, I read a little bit of the Morrison run and I got like really into them for a while.
I gotta read some Doom Patrol comics. I
It's
have
the Morrison run's really good.
oh yeah, it's Grant Morrison to be fair, so it's
Hmm.
gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morrison Morrison usually cooks. I love the Animal Man, of course, All Star Superman. If you uh, if you're watching this and you want to read a Superman story and you don't know where to start, you just want to play it safe, and you hear so much about it, just read All Star Superman.
I don't know.
It
I don't know if All-Star Superman's the first Superman book to read though. I feel like
hmm,
I waited a bit to read it and I feel like I feel like
you got more appreciation. You have more appreciation for it. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like not to plug the first episode we did together, but I feel like Birthright's the way to go for your first
Yeah.
Superman story.
Yeah. Okay. Read Superman Birthright. That's another great Superman story by Mark Waid. And
Mhm.
watch our Birthright video. Yeah,
Yeah, go back to
yeah,
yeah.
who gives a shit? Let's do shameless plugging. And
Yeah.
and okay, if we're gonna do that, if you if I'm gonna recommend another Superman story, then I'm gonna go for Superman Up in the Sky by Tom King.
Hmm.
I just finished rereading that yesterday, and I was just
So good. Such
yeah,
a good.
six issues. Yeah, it's very simple, and it just captures everything that makes you love Superman as a character.
Hmm. Yeah.
What's another Superman recommendation you would give besides All Star then? And
So,
Birthright.
as for like what I think a good first story would be, I feel like you can take, there's so many good tellings of Superman's origin story that I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, either, or like at least early year Superman, I feel like either go Superman Birthright is my favorite, but
Mm-hmm.
Secret Origin is amazing too
Oh,
for all
definitely.
seasons. Really, as
Yeah.
long as you don't go for Superman Year One. We're not going to talk about Superman Year One, but I definitely think you should check out Action Comics by Jeff Johns if you haven't already. Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Gary Frank is
This
one of
artist
my favorite
phenomenal.
Superman artists of all time.
Yeah.
It's just it's so good, his Superman.
I, Yeah, you might. Yeah, don't be that person and just be like, "Oh, Batman Year One by Frank Miller. That's the quintessential Batman story." And then look at Superman Year One and make the mistake.
From it's a 3 issue long thing,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's I'll I'll tell you all you need to know. Superman joins the military, basically. Yeah. Like Clark Kent joins the military, and it's every
Well,
issue, Superman, from what I remember, every issue Superman cheats on who he's dating with a new girl. Like first he's with Lana Lang. Pretty sure he
yeah.
cheats on her with that mermaid girl, and then he cheats on her with Lois.
Mermaid Girl.
Yeah, who's mentioned in My Adventures with Superman season 2. Jimmy brings up a board and talks about the mermaids off the coast of Metropolis.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I, that, I remember hearing that, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? What is he talking about?" And that's that reference.
I think at
That's a
least. I mean, that's just what I figured. It might just be another
yeah.
how he was looking for Bigfoot in season 1 type thing, but that's what went through my head.
Jimmy Olsen. Y'all remember? Well, you probably remember when people was gonna raid Area 51. Jimmy Olsen would be the type to like,
Oh my God. Jimmy Olsen started that. Yeah.
yeah, Jimmy Olsen for sure started it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know we're on a tangent, but it's just like, God damn
Yeah,
it.
I think we're kind of transitioning away from My Adventures with Superman to just
Yeah,
comic
now we're
talk
just talking
now.
about Frank Miller.
As a final note then, I I love My Adventures with Superman season 2. I'm loving it. I can't wait to see where it goes. Definitely
Mhm.
am excited. I hope we get to do another episode about it toward the end.
Oh
But
yeah.
as a final recommendation then, just go read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King and Bilquis Ively before she shows up in the show, so you're hyped. You know,
Yeah,
can't recommend that book enough. Only 8 issues long.
it's beautiful.
Incredible.
The art is beautiful. The writing is that's some of Tom King's best writing. But hey, read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow and read Superman Up in the Sky. Both written by Tom King and just perfectly nails those characters.
Hmm. If we're transitioning away from My Adventures with Superman then to just comic talk,
Yeah.
I have something I need to show. So last episode, for
Um,
those who didn't listen to fill in, I talked about how I've been reading Sex Criminals by Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction. And I was in a comic book shop today, and I took a picture of this variant cover for Sex Criminals I found that I just had to show. So Sex Criminals, it's drawn by Chip Zdarsky. I'll pull it up here. It's like it, it's Chip Zdarsky art. If you've seen it, like, it's they all the covers for Sex Criminals are like pretty solid colors. There's a couple of them. I found a variant, and I almost wish I just bought this. Like, look how good this variant is. It's just Chip Zdarsky and Matt Fraction.
it looks so like, oh my
I
God.
should have bought this. I should have bought this. That was the big contribution I had to show. Like I said, a lot of what I've been doing the last week or so. I
Hmm.
played through Spider-Man 2. I platinumed it. That I'm in my Spider-Man mode right now in my brain that I've just been going back reading old Spider-Man comics. I've been
Yeah.
reading the stuff from all different eras. I've been rereading some of the Todd McFarlane stuff, some of the Slott stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. Just all over the place.
I've been reading Superman Smashes the Plan.
Yeah, that's a book I need to read. I've only heard good things about it.
I've been I've been reading the Hickman Fantastic Four again, and I'm loving it all over again. It's such a wild journey.
Can't go
Like,
wrong with Hickman.
oh yeah, you can't go wrong with Hickman. You know, he's just always cooking.
I have also so last episode I showed off, I got The Walking Dead compendiums 1 and 2,
Oh
and
yeah, I
recently
remember.
I got compendium 3 in that I need
That's
to
a
find a good deal on compendium 4, order it, and then the reread begins of The Walking Dead.
I saw something somebody say this on Twitter. It was like the reason why we rewatch some of the media that we've seen or reread some of the stuff is because it helps us with our anxiety because we know how things are gonna go, and it's like a comfort read or a comfort watch. Is just going back to that thing that you love so much. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely how it is. That's how it's feeling reading the Hickman Fantastic Four run. It's just like very comforting, just like reliving it over again.
Yeah.
I saw an interview with on Comic Pop with Joshua Williamson, and Joshua Williamson was talking about how
Oh yeah.
he's been rereading the Hickman Fantastic Four, and then he finished that, and then he's like, all right, I'm gonna read his Avengers run, and then he got past Infinity. He said, you know, fuck it, I'm going all the way to Secret Wars at this point. Like,
Yeah.
just yeah, just keep going.
So it was just recently announced that Tom King's writing Lanterns. So I've
Oh
got
yeah.
Tom King on the brain. I only have one issue here next to me. For some reason, I only have issue 9 right next to me. But I have the full set of the Omega Men by Tom King, which I know is, from what I've heard, it's kind of like a Kyle Rayner story almost, this book. That,
Oh,
I've read Tom King writing Hal, I've read Tom King writing so many characters. I don't think I've read Tom King, Kyle Rayner before. That I want to read this. I mean, Lanterns is pitched as being a Hal and John show, but wouldn't be surprised if down the line we see Kyle. I definitely think it's inevitable for the
I
DCU.
hope we
So,
I hope we see Kyle. Hope, well, of course, we're gonna see Guy Gardner, and
yeah.
hopefully, just we. I want to see as many lanterns as possible.
Hmm.
The ones I'm looking forward to, it's got to be my favorite lanterns ever is Hal and Sinestro. Sinestro is my favorite lantern in just general,
Yeah.
but, but favorite Green Lantern. I know I'm boring Hal, but yeah.
I mean, after reading the Jeff Johns run for the
Oh
first time,
yeah,
it was like,
it's a religious experience.
Hal on the brain. Yeah.
Yeah, your third eye starts opening, and then
Yeah.
once you read the Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, the Rebirth run by Robert Vendetti
Mhm.
is like you become more of a Hal Jordan fan, and
The
then
Jeremy Adams stuff's great too now. The Jeremy Adams.
oh man, the Jeremy Adams Green Lantern run, I gotta catch up. I'm like 2 issues behind you.
A couple years ago, Kyle was my favorite Lantern because I got
Hmm.
the trades of like the Ron Mars Kyle stuff that I went through those and I loved them. And then over recent years, I've gotten back into Hal. A really underrated Hal book is Night Terror's Green Lantern, I think. Hal is just so good. It's the best Night Terror's tie-in.
Oh man, the Night Terror's Green Lantern is
I think Night Terrors is an underrated event, and I think Night Terror's Green Lantern deserves so much hype.
yeah, it's so bad. What's another underrated lantern I like? Oh, I like Saint Walker, the Blue Lantern.
Oh, Saint Walker is I love the Blue Lanterns. Yeah.
Yeah, my boy.
I really hope we get to see Saint Walker in the DCU. I can't
Yeah,
yeah. That would
I
just be
want to
so
see
great.
Larfleeze.
I have the Larfleeze Christmas special issue. That's one of my like the most iconic issues I remember buying when I was a kid. I remember reading that thing. Because I
It's,
remember Larfleeze 2 from Lego Batman 3 was one of my like first introductions to Larfleeze.
you know who
Yeah.
played a great Larfleeze?
Who's that?
Andy Serkis.
Oh, dude, don't put that idea in my head
I
because if
know,
it's
I know.
anyone else now, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
so upset.
yeah. Andy Serkis he already played Gollum, and he's all about greed and
Yeah, that would
no
just be perfect.
Caesar. Yeah, like just play Larfleeze,
I
please.
would, yeah, that'd be so good.
And then Atrocitus. Imagine we get to see the Manhunters in live
I
action. Just
can, I think we'll see the Manhunters and Lanterns. I think we'll see the Manhunters. I think there's a really good chance we see Atrocitus.
I just love the rivalry that Hal and Sinestro has. You know, being like
Yeah.
student and teacher. It
Sinestro's won
reminds
a
me a lot of
decent
Star
chess
Wars
round.
too.
Yeah, Sinestro Corps Wars might be cooler than any Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I remember. See, I read the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run in a weird order. So I started reading Blackest Night, like the Blackest Night 10th anniversary omnibus, that thick ass book. And then I worked myself backwards, and I said, okay, I'm gonna read his entire run. And I'm like, oh, I see how he's setting up, the Blackest Night, and then how
Yeah.
Sinestro Corps leads into that. It also sort of reminds me of like the Donny Cates Venom run, where it's you got the middle event, which is
Oh
absolute
yeah.
carnage, goes straight into King in Black.
Let us know in the comments what books you are planning on reading but haven't gotten to yet. Like what books are on your list?
Oh man, that reading was just
Because I know both of ours just piles up. I couldn't
yeah.
even begin to start telling you mine.
One of these days, I'm gonna start reading Flashpoint.
You gotta go all in
Yeah,
on Flash.
yeah. One of these days, I'm gonna read Flashpoint, and then I'm gonna after Flashpoint, I'm probably gonna read the Flash Rebirth run by Williamson.
Yeah, Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
It's been an awesome episode again. I don't know when the next what's the next thing coming out? Is it's not Deadpool, right?
Uh, Maybe Deadpool.
Maybe we'll see. Hopefully there will be an episode before Deadpool, but
Right.
yeah. Thank you all for watching episode 2 of The Watchers. Let us know in the comments what you thought of My Adventures with Superman season 2, what you're excited for, your predictions, all that. I can't wait to see how it keeps going. Our plan for the show, as like I said, we meant to do an episode last week with the premiere, but we're probably gonna do another episode on the show with the finale whenever that comes out. So, we'll keep you guys posted what we think of the show, and thank you all for watching. Looking forward to next episode.
Yep. Thank you.
Peace out.
All right.